Hi everyone, I'm Cindy, Assistant Programmer from the Clermont County Public Library, and today I'm going to teach you how to make perfect pie crust. And when I say perfect pie crust, I mean it's pretty close to perfect. This crust is almost no fail, and it's great for meat pies. I make a lot of chicken pot pies with this crust recipe, and it's great for dessert pies, fruit pies, just anything that you would like to use it with. It's a good recipe. You can also freeze it. It makes 4 individual pie crust, so you can take each one and roll it into a ball and wrap it in saran wrap, and you can freeze it for several weeks. Okay, well, let's get started. I already have 4 cups of all-purpose flour measured, and I'm going to put it in my bowl. I am using a mixer. You don't have to. For years, I just used a wooden spoon in my hands. You don't have to have a mixer. I just find it a little bit easier to use. It's just my preference. And next, we're going to be working on our dry ingredients. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of table salt and 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then we're going to whisk that around with our hook and our mixer. Just mix it up a few minutes. Next, we're going to add our Crisco. I have the Crisco that is pre-measured, but got the butter flavor. You can use the other kind as well, or you can use the kind that comes in a big tub. And we're going to add another one. It's the recipe calls for 1 3/4 cups of shortening. So that's what I just added. It was all pre-measured. So I'm going to use my mixer to mix that just for a minute to get it mixed up. And the shortening should look like peas, the size of peas when you get finished. You don't have to do it a long time, but that's generally what it will look like. I'm going to grab a clean spoon. I'm going to use the spoon to mix things around in the bowl. Okay, next, then I'm going to add my wet ingredients. And for the wet ingredients, it is a 1/2 cup of water, 1 egg, and I'm just going to put them together, and 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And I just add those all together in my measuring cup. And then I'm going to whisk those around with a fork, mix it all together. And I'm going to add that to the rest of the ingredients in the bowl. And I'm going to mix it. And that's about as easy as it can be. And it just, you don't want to overmix it, but you do want to make sure all the ingredients are mixed together. And it kind of forms a ball when it is finished mixing. And I made one previous to this video, and I'm going to show you how it looks. And this is how it looks after it's finished. It's been in the refrigerator for a few minutes. So next I'm going to roll it out to make 1 pie. And what I found a nice trick is to use some wax paper, and I put a little bit of flour on it, and I roll it out. And I put another piece of wax paper on top. And then I grab my rolling pin and roll it out. And it makes a very, very nice crust. And you want to roll it out to the size of your bowl, so, or your pie pan. And some are larger than others, so as you do this, you'll learn to figure out how much dough you use. I like to make my crust fairly thin before you put it in the pie pan. So I'm rolling it out real nice on this wax paper. I'm using a fairly good size pie plate or pie pan. So I want it to be big enough to go over the edges. And for this pie, I'm just going to make one crust and make it into a banana cream pie. So I'll be making banana pudding to place in that at a later time. I'm going to take the wax paper off, and I get my pie plate here. And I'm just, this is what the crust looks like finished, and I'm just going to place it in the pie pan and remove the wax paper. And it makes a beautiful crust. And then I will finish the edges. And for my one crust pies, I will take a fork and poke holes in it so that it gets finished and done all the way through. And that is the end of the perfect pie crust. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. My email address is cmahaffey, which is spelled M-A-H-A-F-F-E-Y, @clermontlibrary.org. Have a good time and make some wonderful pies.